So in theory, this should switch over. Perfect. There was a Twitch hack this week, so I had to change some things and get a
Yeah, there
new
was.
get a new key and all that sort of stuff. So, but in theory, it is working.
Hello, peoples. All the
It
people watching us.
it completely
Yeah,
screwed my streaming over. Like, there's a lot of stuff that I had to reset on my end.
there was the hack was so large, it was literally everything. Like, man, they got cleaned out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty, so just as a quick recap, last time we left off, you guys had done some stuff in Tortage, met some pirates, made some allies with a crew of Nordheim raiders. The captain almost got his foot cut off in an honor duel. But you did manage to track down some information on the sorcerer who had left you all to die, a gentleman named Maledict Mur. You found that he has a home, perhaps, on a small island off the coast of Shem. An island that was completely uncharted, but you did manage to piece together enough information to locate it. As you approached the island, Tebian, with his spyglass, managed to scout the fact that the island is fairly small. It's only probably like 3 miles across, almost but not quite cut in half by a large ravine that runs down the center of it. On the northeastern side of the island, there's a small cove. On one side of the cove, there's a little village. On the opposite side of the cove from the village is a small villa. And kind of overlooking everything was the ruins of a temple. You guys decided to bring your boat along to the north side. The water was quite shallow, so you had actually to come by longboat from your ship off to the beach, where you pulled your longboats on board, and kind of climbed / scrabbled up to where the temple is. It's not a sheer cliff. The map might look like a sheer cliff. It's not. It was a hard walk. It wasn't something where you had to get out rope and spikes and climb. It's just like a probably a 35 degree gradient. Up there, you did see some patrols. One of them was close enough you managed to ascertain that the guards were perhaps not entirely human. They had kind of a moist look to their skin and little like skin flaps on their neck, indicative of perhaps gills. At which point the guards spotted you, and all hell broke loose. Waves of enemies coming out of the temple ruins. At one point, a sorcerer's effect basically shot a line of fire down, dividing your group into two. With, I believe it's Clytius and Caro on... No, it's Ragnar and Caro on one side, and Tebian, Rory, and Clytius on the other side. And they're the ones closer to the drop down to the water. Amidst all the commotion, you did hear what sounded like the sound of like a conch horn being blown. At which point, you kind of glanced down and you noticed a dark circle starting to form in the water at the base of this escarpment. Apparently, something has been awoken below. And I believe...
What could go wrong?
That's enough of you reading Lovecraft books, by the way.
I think it's very important to note that Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard were pen pals and friends, and in fact, some of the one of the books in the Lovecraftian mythos, Unspeakable Cults, is actually a creation of Howard.
And
That's mean.
And I worked out all of my...
It's okay, they can both be crazy people.
Backwards as well. to
And
make
they both
sure
were.
that the answer I got
So that is where we left off.
and all the math was
Wall of fire dividing the
so
group.
I don't know where I went.
A bunch of minions.
So if I can't identify
Things are looking pretty dire for the
because
heroes.
all of my math worked in reverse as well as
Hero's such a strong term for this group.
I don't know.
Things are looking dire for our crew.
Right.
Doing it again is good.
I wasn't going to object to it, but, you know, it's not really Claudius's bag.
No. I've been trying to get
So, what would you guys like to do? There's probably about
90s
10 or so of these
in the 90s.
mostly human
For the most part.
creatures engaged with you. There are more coming en route, and down below you, the water is starting to churn and swirl.
Where are the boats? Just FYI.
The boats would be down the escarpment and then off probably about 200 or 300 meters from where you climbed up. So they are like basically off the map, but somewhere to the. Let's see, you guys come to the north. Probably to the northeast of your location.
Well, gentlemen, I think we got to go through this lot before we could do anything else.
Yeah, that does seem a thing.
How far away are the reinforcements?
They're coming in quick. They will probably be on you next round or so.
Captain, permission to speak freely.
Always.
Rendezvous with the rest of the crew. I'll cover this.
That's like all my
I'll cover this.
All right, give me some space.
And just in case, it's been an honor.
I was gonna say it had to have something to do with either members
Go
or
get them.
All right.
Are any of them still burning?
I believe. Let me see here. I think the ones that were burning have all perished. Like there's a pile of bodies around you guys.
So it is our turn, right?
Yes.
Let's smell a fish.
After saying that, I'm gonna swing on the one in front of me.
Okay.
and that's
I think Claudius might almost have enough for a bulwark at some point here.
Just difficulty 1.
Yep. Ooh, and your Marines give you three more.
Hey.
I didn't know we still had Marines alive.
Yeah, my skilled one died, and I believe one of the other ones died.
Oh.
Yep.
Good.
oh yeah, I guess it's
We're doing better than I thought we were. Look at us go.
So how much momentum do we have in the pool?
Currently none, because it's the start of a new session. So it depends on how much you leave after the 4 that you just generated.
I'll take 2 of it to add just 2 extra damage onto this. And I'm going to re-roll 2 of these.
Oof.
That'll do.
Does your weapon have any qualities?
No. It has unbalanced. I don't know what that does.
Unbalanced means if your brawn is less than 9, it requires 2 hands to use.
Okay, so I'm good for that then.
Yeah.
I think.
So that's going to be 11 damage to the left leg.
So many left legs.
So yeah, so you just kind of lash out and you like take one guy, like cut through his leg, kind of like Braveheart style. He just kind of collapses, and then you kind of spin around backhand and decapitate another guy.
Excellent.
Well, if this trend keeps up, it'll be great. They won't have a leg to stand on.
It's true. Oh, I wouldn't bet on that.
Right.
Uh-huh.
You guys are still up.
Am I in? Am I still in melee?
No.
Me and my squad are gonna bolt.
All right.
We're heading for the ship.
Are you taking the fastest route, which is like, are you going to leap through the wall of fire, or are you going around it?
I think I'll go around it.
Okay.
We're going northeast anyway, didn't you say?
Yeah, your ship is basically up to the northeast, like down onto the beach, and then about 300 yards to the northeast.
Clean this mess up, Claudius. Ragnar. I'll meet you on the ship.
Yes, Captain.
Son of a bitch.
Right. So be So yeah, so you can basically dart around the fire and get to the edge of the escarpment.
And yeah, I'll order my guys to protect the captain.
I'm bringing a group with me, right? So.
Yeah, you keep your folks there, dude.
Right. So yeah, so as you kind of like
Oh,
run up to the escarpment, like ready to kind of like, you're not sure how running down it is going to work just due to the incline. But what kind of gives you pause is you can see now that massive swirling black water forming. That'll be a discipline test.
Sure.
You.
I don't see why. Water does that all the time, right?
Has creative blocks due to artistic isolation.
Yeah, unfortunately, from his vantage point, he can see something else.
I'll spend a momentum here just because.
A forbidden sight.
Ooh, complication.
Well, if it's forbidden, we can come back later.
That's right. We'll just leave, guys.
Well, I think Captain might have turned.
Right. So that's going to be that's going to be 6 resolve damage.
Oof. Okay.
As you can,
Let's see. I got 2 dice with morale cover, assuming anyone has naval discipline.
If they were looking at their navels, they'd probably be in better shape.
If we don't, that brings me to 0 resolve.
sorry, what talent is it?
Naval discipline. Oh, that's when at sea, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, so you run up to the escarpment, ready to start making your way down. You see that swirling whirlpool, but beyond just the swirling whirlpool, you're like, okay, that looks bad. You can see tentacles starting to kind of pull out of the whirlpool, and a very large, gaping mouth.
So that's 2 traumas, I believe.
Did it drop your resolve to 0?
Yeah.
So yes, that is 2 trauma.
Oof. Captain will recoil in a great deal of fear.
Twitch, twitch, twitch. Well, so much for that plan.
Has the captain been reduced to a gibbering idiot?
No, but you do see him run past you towards the escarpment and then just kind of stop and then kind of back up a few feet.
Yeah, okay.
Tebian will do the same.
ADHD. The more because it's ADHD awareness stuff, and the more I hear about it, the more I'm like, yeah, I do have ADHD.
So Tebian will do the same and kind of run up and again stops short and goes like,
Yeah, very much a.
which I believe leaves us with Clytius and Rory.
Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go right ahead, lad. And then I'll throw some fire into their midst.
Alright.
Especially not burns.
I'll take a momentum and roll 2 extra dice.
Oh, speaking of this stuff, at Impicon, I had made up
That will give you 2 momentum.
2 little tavern packs and a study pack for D&D.
Right.
Set decoration. Map decoration.
We'll
So
bank that
the tavern set
and roll
was
damage.
17 pieces. So it was like 3 tables,
I can re-roll 2 of those.
3 benches, 9 chairs, a barrel, and an animal. One of them had a cat. The other
Oh,
one
nice. So total
Right, that'll
6.
be. Cutlass is vicious, so that'll be 6 and 4 more is 10.
Just basically some kind of added critter thing to go into space.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
And then
7,
the study pack
So
had the
10 damage
giant
altogether.
skull
Yep.
and ocean bodies.
Right. So yeah, so you're like laying about with the cutlass, definitely driving them back to some extent.
Alright,
Oh, and I did a package.
and I've made some room,
Chests and a mimic.
and
So there's like 5.
which way are the boats
chests
again on the map?
And then the mimic had its
I would like to move towards where the boats are.
Okay.
open.
Is your plan to just like
Jaw, lid.
basically run towards the guys that are coming towards you, or to go down the escarpment and then
And they
along the
also
beach?
Quite happy.
Did we come past them to get
It's very
here?
happy.
No, you guys park the boat, the longboat, walked
Yeah.
along the beach about 300 yards or so, and then went up the escarpment to where you are.
So,
Ah, fuck. Okay.
information that, yes, these things will actually. And it's just a matter of
You know what?
They sold there,
The
but
captain
not-
and Tivian do not like what they see down there. So I'm going to move into the next 3 guys. And spend that 3 momentum to swing again.
Yes.
Okay.
And
Yeah, that's true too.
have an extra dice, well, 2 dice on it.
Da, da, da. It slices and dices the juliennes.
Yeah, I still think
Yeah.
Okay.
I have
So it would generate you
I got
one
my,
momentum
duck
total.
set done, but
Leave
I
that in the bin.
for Raymond. So those I got done and
Reroll that one blank.
given to him over at Endicon. But I've got
So that is 10 more damage.
I think it's 11.
And still have
Yeah, it's 11.
sanding shades
Oh,
dice,
11.
so I
Sweet.
don't know if shades dice
Nicely
will
done.
cause the colors to turn out like she expected. I told her they wouldn't.
All right.
Excellent.
Or told
So
her
yeah,
they
so
wouldn't.
Clytius is just like a flash of blade going through these guys that have been coming towards you, just like dropping them left, right, and center.
Okay.
And I'll look back at Rory and say, see if you can help out Ragnar.
My thoughts exactly. That should be really good, laddie, to watch one of these things go through that firewall. Oh boy, I bet there's gonna be some spray. Oh, I hate that poor guy. He'll be too bad.
One of them, I showed you the colors. They didn't turn out quite right, so I did it again.
Also, Chris, in addition to doing something with
And I
obviously
just
with
don't,
my fire, can I also get take a moment to reflect on what's going on from like an occult sorcery standpoint?
Um,
Or would that take my whole action?
it would take your action to make the skill check.
Gotcha. Well, killing things right now is more important.
We got more things coming. We gotta thin the tide, as it were.
Absolutely. All right, I'm going to hurl fire at the one that's closest to me.
Reap the whirlwind of assholes, as it might be.
The one on the other side of the firewall.
Yes.
Okay. So that'll be difficulty of 3.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't put the Christmas ornament
Because
in.
like you can kind of see him through the fire, but it is making things a little bit more difficult to interact over there.
I did leave you a momentum.
cool. And I got rerolls and pretty good thing. So hopefully we can get them. We're gonna try anyways.
Being able to stuff this out later. No, that's very true.
Oof. Nice roll. Actually generate 1 momentum out of that and hit.
Nice.
Nice. Do I get any little extra fire buff from going through the fire?
No.
I would think it would just practically explode going through and turning into flaming pitch, but
Although
Let's get some Michael Bay up in this pirate movie.
just as a note though, you can spend fortune points to make story declarations, right?
More explosions.
So, let's say, for example, if I spent a fortune point, could I declare that due to the going through the fire that it sprayed all 3 of them with fire and did damage to everybody?
You can't say it'll spray all 3, but you can give it the area effect. So if you roll enough effects on the damage, you'll hit multiple people.
I am in this area, aren't I not?
You are, but you will only be hit if you rolled a complication, which you did not.
Excellent.
So yeah, so all right, so I'll do that. I'll spend a fortune point, and so that's what we'll do. We'll get the area effect, and now I guess I'll roll some damage.
Okay.
It's 46, right?
Yes. So that will be 3 damage to 2 of the guys, and then it spreads and it's incendiary.
Well, better than none.
So Ragnar, you're fighting these guys, you're holding them off, and you just see like this like explosion of fire out from the wall, just like completely cooks one of the guys, and as he's kind of flailing about, he strikes one of his allies, and the allies like ragged clothing and stuff catches on fire as well.
Rory, you crazy Dringer. If we get out of this alive, I'll buy you an ale.
Oh, lad, if we get this out, I think we both need to get hammered.
I'll hold you to that.
Sounds fair to me.
Oh.
I'd also say from the looks of them that the Tebian and the captain are both going to need some drinks too.
So Caro and Tebian, you see now, and actually anybody who kind of looks over there, you see these long, oily black tentacles basically just like up on the side of the cliff.
Yeah.
Not all the way up to the top of the escarpment, but they're easily a good 20, 30 meters long.
When you say it like that, Chris, it doesn't sound very enticing.
Well,
And the bit with the
and you can, Caro, you can see like the kind of the muscles and the tentacles flex slightly, like it's pulling the bulk of itself out of that whirlpool.
Might
Run away. Run inland?
I don't feel incentivized to look in that direction.
There's one class, and it's literally all about.
The 2 that are over there fighting against Ragnar and his mob.
And how to use it.
Um,
But the way it
I
does
think I
it
miss actually.
is
Ragnar and his minions?
Yep.
His gang, his homies.
like I have to.
Yep, they only have a reach of 1. So yeah, so you're managing to keep them at bay with your sword and shield.
Never-ending YouTube,
The one guy over here.
and that's what I have to have playing in the background, like really quiet.
He's gonna
and
close up
the
like he is.
instructions, because it verbally. There's 2 different types of exercises. One, it reads it, and you follow it. So you watch it happen, and then you practice it, and then you do it for the screen. And it's
But
computer
again, you managed to.
here.
I mean, they're largely attacking with like sharpened claws and knives.
I play it on
So you do manage to keep them at bay with your cutlass.
faster
Yeah, all right.
because the voice talks so slowly.
Those guys.
Like I could probably play it at twice the speed and it would still be fine. Like it's so slow. 'Cause it's
The group that
not-
was running
I
in
don't
to
think the
engage
person that
you guys,
they just got
as they see the tentacles starting to come up out of the water, they kind of like turn around and head back the way they came.
Oh, good.
It's like a computer
Excellent.
voice. But
So, yeah, just something to note, guys. The bad
the
guys
other type of
have
exercise-
decided to fuck off at the sight of whatever's coming out of the water.
The other part of the exercises, though.
I suspect they know way more than we do about it.
And then a list of instructions on what it would like.
Yeah, I mean, it's a telling
So-
it's a telling thing to me.
And it's just a matter of following along and hoping that you've clicked all the right places.
Well, if it can bleed, it can die, gentlemen. We're not letting this thing have our shit.
If you go back,
Right,
and do something
back around to the
later
top. You guys are up.
to fix it, it
I don't
might-
really think that it wants the ship. I think it wants us.
Like you not, or if you know a different way. Of
Can we
doing it,
reach those tentacles?
Like
Yeah, they're probably about a good 50 or so meters below you.
the little.
So, like, it hasn't, like, the tentacles aren't long enough to reach all the way up to where you guys are.
And
It's
you
basically just
can
hooked onto
follow
rocks and stuff, so
another
it can
little
pull itself out. And
quick
they're
menu that comes up
a little bit beneath you. You
beside
could
the
probably get to
word
them.
that you're actually highlighting. It'll mark it wrong. Like it is.
I'm not entirely sure that's something I want to do.
Yes.
I
And
noticed
it's
we brought a
on
distinct
the-
lack of siege weaponry.
And
There's
part of
blist
me
on the boat.
wants to say, if I wanted to take
Uh-huh.
an automated class, I would have just
Aye,
applied
great.
for an
Be able to use it for a
automated class
toothpick.
Like
Is there another way to get to that ship without going down this escarpment?
You could basically run northeast along the escarpment and then down to where the beach was. It's a much steeper incline, which is why you guys didn't come up that way.
practice exercises.
Is it possible to run off the side of the thing and dive into the water?
The other one
You can certainly try.
that's the one where we're just following instructions.
Well, I'm going to certainly try.
It's looking more and more attractive all the time.
That's it. She doesn't.
I'm a pretty good swimmer, so
Because it's all done by the.
Or we could go around and hide behind the fire barrier.
She doesn't mark our tests. She doesn't create them.
At this point, I would settle for following our fishy
That's all
friends.
she does. She goes through the exercise with this ones. And it's just her reading out the.
yeah. So the
I
captain's-
imagine Ragnar doesn't see any of this.
Right.
Oh, he probably.
Ragnar is oblivious on the other side of the firewall.
Ragnar is in his own little world of bloodshed right now.
Yeah.
captain's priority has to be to the ship. So yeah, I'm going that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going like down the escarpment here, trying to get into the water.
No, I'm going northeast. I'm going to dive off the cliff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make an acrobatics check.
That's
Okay, so
Definitely enjoyed that.
sailing test. I'm just checking some talents here. Not athletics, it's acrobatics.
It is acrobatics for diving.
Committing suicide does not really make the total party kill a real thing.
Straight.
Doesn't it?
I'm going to take it from Chris. You can't have it. Acrobatics, eh? I'm going to spend a fortune on this.
Probably
That's
wise.
gonna be like she said in class once.
Funny how that works.
That she didn't have time to mark things herself. That's why she was.
How'd I get one success on a? Should be two, right?
And then
It's if,
Oh, I'm
only,
not.
if you don't have
not
the
trained.
skill, yeah.
with the side
not
paper
very
she
good.
has.
Right. So the captain
Edited
basically
documents for this other company. And it's like, so you have time
Just
for a
like-
side gig.
takes a look and then like just runs off and does a moderately graceful dive,
She sounds-
clearing the
she sounds like a kid.
clearing the escarpment. There is a splishing sound.
That's better than a meaty thunk.
Gang, to refer to us all.
Every time.
So look, gang, and it's like, just stop. You can call us people.
You do take 3 points of unsoakable vigor damage.
You know, there are plenty of other words than gang. I don't know if
Roger
she's
that.
Stuck on gang somewhere,
So,
and she's got that. false
but yes, you are now in the water, and you can feel it's weird. Like you can feel like the waves crashing against the side of the cliff and everything. But there doesn't seem to be that suction from the whirlpool that you would expect.
I'm finding that.
Oh, I swim my ass to my boat.
When I looked for, I used for a tech.
Right.
I'm finding the classes are harder than the actual material.
We may as well say that Tibian will do the
Getting
same.
into the text or finding where something is being done in the text. And when I
Sorry, Trevor, when you watch this VOD for getting guilty.
So Tipping does the same thing, but much more gracefully and gets a little bit more distance out and
Because I
manages
could
to
tell, like,
to
where
not
it is
injure
that
himself
I
on the
can't-
water.
I can't tell where you are. Because she will just say, "Oh, and today we're working on blah," and then she'll start
That will leave us
like,
with
"Oh, no, wait, stop."
the rest of you.
Yeah.
Go for it,
Tell
Ragnar.
me.
You're the one that's oblivious.
Yeah, Ragnar is going to attempt to
her
cut down
suggestions
the
were
rest
to
of
either get the
these
physical book or to
things.
get a second monitor.
Okay.
And I'm like, or you could just tell me where you are in the book, so I can get there.
Oh, ignore that. Roll the wrong dice.
But yeah, one of the other students.
I'm just gonna
uh,
bank
commented
that
on
momentum.
her snark at the
Thank you.
second monitor.
Yep.
Yep.
And your allies give you
Well,
one
I
as
can
well.
Find a second monitor at Value Village or
I'm
something.
gonna
I'm like,
bank
I don't
both
have
of them then.
space for a second monitor. The financing for it isn't the issue.
I'm gonna re-roll 2 of
Just go buy
these.
it. But it's not gonna magically make space for me to put it somewhere. But yeah,
So I think that's 5 damage.
she's less than useful, and I really hope.
Alright, so the guy that's been wandering around on fire, kind of like desperately trying to put himself out,
Because-
you just casually, just line up your shot and then
Oh,
strike him
she's been
like
there
down
for
through the
that's
collarbone,
part of the problem.
dropping him, leaving only the one guy over with you.
Is that
Alright.
she's lost all interest in what she's teaching.
Bloodshed in Ragnar's eyes as
She's
he
been much happier if she's been
sizes up with the last
on
one.
Side gigs full time.
Okay.
I think she'd be much.
That will leave us with Clytius and Rory.
Her heart is obviously not in teaching. Not even a little bit.
All right, I'll see if I can get this last guy down.
And that's going to reflect in the survey that I fill out.
Woo.
I'll
Yes.
spend 1 for 2 dice.
If all I wanted was to follow along.
Nice. So
until
that'll
the
give you
nominated
3 momentum on that.
I'll put those back in the bin.
Perfect.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
That should be attack, or damage, not attack.
Yep, no worries.
I can reroll 2 blanks.
You mentioned an artist's statement.
So that is actually just 5-6 damage.
6 is enough. As this guy's kind of like gaping at the tentacles that he can see kind of flailing about, and your 2 party members who just dove off the cliff. You just take advantage of it and basically like sword up through the back and out his front sort of thing. Kick him off with your foot.
Right, and then I'll yell to Ragnar. Ragnar, leave that one. Advance. We need to get to the boats. And
What's going
I will
on?
move- We need to get to the boats. Advance.
Yes, sir.
And I'll move as far as I can.
What an artist is trying.
I'm not sure what
to-
my move is.
Well, it's zone based, so you can you're moving northwest on top of the.
Yeah. Specifically, not making eye contact with anything related to the cliff.
Okay. That will leave us with Rory.
Well, Rory's going to be following his mate and doing the same thing, but I'll contemplate the sorcery of this as I'm running.
Alrighty. That would be actually a. Yeah, let's call it a. Be a lore test, actually.
But I'm going to put that under the pains
Okie dokie.
where I have the lack of marketing experience.
I'm going to borrow a momentum, I think.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I tried to put as many as I could back in the bin.
And you did a good job.
I like to think that this is the equivalent of they have a cave troll.
Alrighty.
Or we have a Hulk?
I'm going to put
Yeah.
that in the services part.
So there's no doubt at all in Rory's mind that something basically breached the veil to the outer dark and summoned something through. So definitely sorceress workings. In Rory, what Rory has read, these things tend not to last too long without significant force of will from whoever summons them. If you have any other questions, you can spend momentum.
Group, do you think? I don't think there's any other questions other than the fact that the strain of trying to get this open may be hurting dude right now.
I got one.
That is good to know.
It's like my word.
Is it worth spending a momentum to say if we damage it, does that shorten the timeline that it's around?
Sure, why not?
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah, to Rory's recollection, strength of arms, a good strong sword, tremendous bravery can definitely drive something back. You don't think, given the fact that they seem to be called up fairly quickly, it's not like it's a long ritual that had to be done under certain circumstances with certain sacrifices and so on and so forth. So this is a lesser creature of the outer dark as opposed to something major. It could be driven back with enough application of force. Whether you want to do that in its native environment, the water,
Yeah, range weapons, eh?
Toss one of those bottles down its throat.
Well, it's probably going to be a smaller one, but it's probably also going to be temporarily, like more like a peek through instead of a complete utter come through, maybe? Hard to say.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
What are we talking about?
Don't worry about it. It's not important.
It's all good.
and Rory and Claytace, as you guys are kind of running along the escarpment, kind of like perpendicular to the temple ruins, you do see the folks that were coming to engage you are running back into a mostly intact looking building.
I fucking bet they are.
And the building itself does not look large enough to hold the number of enemies that you have encountered so far.
Extra dimensional.
Extra dimensional clown car of assholes?
It's probably something sorcerers.
Oh, it's got stairs.
If I had to make a guess, I would say it's probably that, much like the creatures coming through the summon circle, that perhaps the guards are doing the exact same thing. Running into this building, perhaps that's where they're going back to their home terrain.
So we don't want to go in there. No.
Probably not a good idea.
Possibly not.
That's great. I wasn't planning to go in there anyway.
Setting it on fire might be different then.
You can't figure out where the caster of this summoning is at all, can you?
You could use your action on your next turn to make an observation check if you wanted to.
That might be worth it. I'll give that some thought.
But Caro and Tebian, you see the thing kind of pull itself out of this whirlpool, and it's like looks like an amorphous, like a very large jellyfish, vaguely luminescent. And it's basically like if you've ever seen an octopus climbing, it's that sort of thing. Like it's just basically with the tentacles and then kind of pulling itself up. It does not seem to have noticed you guys in the water.
An actual name, yeah.
Just keep swimming, just keep swimming.
Swim casual.
That's right. stealth swimming.
We're fine here. How are you?
Got my swimming rules here.
Yeah, it's kind of its own thing, though.
Alrighty. Back going to the top. You guys are up.
Mine's easy. I'm going to swim.
So that is a difficulty 2 athletics test.
So we're in Argosian waters.
Yep.
So that's
As
-1.
well.
And I have salt for blood. So that's -1 again.
It sounds like something you might want to get looked at.
Which means difficulty 0.
You guys are not in Argosian waters. You're in Shemite waters.
Is it athletics test?
Yes.
So difficulties, athletics tests related to swimming are reduced. And then for sulfur blood, it's swimming tests are reduced by 1 step. So does that bring it to 0?
You get the reduction for salt for blood, but not for Sea Raider because it's they're not Argosian waters. You guys are off the coast of Shem.
Okay.
So difficulty is 1
I
then.
have any.
God damn it. I am not very good at swimming unless I'm in Argosian waters.
Oh, man. Thanks
Uh,
for joining me.
I'm going to spend
Nice
another
talking to
fortune.
you and seeing you again.
Hate to blow it said early, but
It's-
Yeah, having the captain drown is probably not a good thing.
gotta get to that boat. Yeah.
Yeah. I should
So yeah, so
save
you
this
you strike out swimming. The waters are quite choppy.
really boring
but,
follow directions assignment.
Not the first time you've been overboard,
Some weird music playing in the background.
and you do manage to make some headway. You're now 2 zones away from the from the boat.
Can I spend momentum to shorten the length of time it takes me to complete this task?
Are great. It's nice to know these things,
Yes, you can. That would get you 1 zone closer.
That is so silly.
For 1 momentum?
Yep.
I will spend that.
So yeah, you're just gonna strike out with like the very powerful swimming strokes against the current. Swimming like your life depends on it, sort of thing.
Because it kind of does. And I'll scream out, Captain's in the water! Captain is in the water!
You wanna listen?
And whose bright idea was that?
Exactly.
Trying to alert the ship is what I'm trying to do.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, I'm gonna try and cut down this last one so I can rendezvous with my friends.
Okay. Tebin is not having much luck at all making any headway.
Okay. I'll talk to you later.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay. Bye. Bye, Eric.
One sec, my thing's being really choppy.
Okay.
Yep.
See ya.
Nice.
Yep, that'll definitely hit that guy.
Ba-dum. I'm going to reroll 2 of these.
That is enough to drop that guy.
And I'd like to rendezvous with my team on land.
Clan team.
So Clytius and Rory, as you guys are running, you just kind of see, you know, like as you kind of like looking back to make sure no tentacles are following you, sort of thing. See Ragnar like cut down the last of the foes he's facing and just start like running towards you like full out.
Cool.
Didn't think I could move that fast, huh?
I am gonna spend a fortune, and I'm gonna try and track down our elusive spellcaster.
Oof, 5 successes.
Wow.
So that will give you, on top of filling up the pool, will give you 3 additional ones in case you have any questions or want to do another action or anything of that nature.
Okay.
So yeah, as you look, you don't see anybody that looks specifically like a caster, but you do see that around the entrance to the building that the troops are running into, all of the shadows seem to be darker and almost pulsing. If you had to hazard a guess, probably as a result of sorceress workings.
But is that the spot where the fish guys were running back into?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the portal. But there's nobody else around.
No.
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking I should light it up.
Yeah, might as well. I can't really do anything to it. So I guess I'm just gonna spend my overflow to run faster towards the boat.
With that, basically, full out sprinting across the top of this precipice, you can get to where it drops down to where the longboat is. But
Great.
It's a drop. It's not an incline. It's why you guys didn't come up this way.
Yeah.
You see the beach about maybe 50 meters below you. Your longboat is still there. Looks completely fine.
Knowing what I know about when we came in, how far out does it get deep enough where I could possibly dive into?
To dive safely without worrying about things, you're looking at where you actually park your ship, which is probably about 100 yards off the shore.
Right. I can't jump that far.
Yeah. But the sandy beach itself, it's not like it's a super wide beach. You've probably got clearance to hit the water.
Water with rocks beneath it, or soft sand. Yeah, those aren't great odds.
Yeah. Basically, it's acrobatics to dive and it's athletics to climb. You can decide which is better. Acrobatics will obviously get you to diving will get you to the boat faster. Depending on your skills, climbing down might be better for you.
I'll do acrobatics, and I'll spend another fortune.
Okay.
Boys, we're burning fortune fast.
Yeah.
So it is difficulty 2 to safely hit the water.
You got some overflow, might as well use it.
Sorry, my sheet didn't want to let me spend fortune.
Oh, I've had that happen in Tony's game because I forget to reset it at the start of the game.
That's 2 though, right?
That is 2. So yeah, so you kind of like, you kind of back up a little bit.
Yeah.
They back up a little bit more. You're like,
Fuck it, let's
okay.
go.
And it's not the. What are you wearing for armor?
Light armor.
Okay. So yeah, so it's fairly graceful, and you do manage to clear the beach and kind of like dive and then pull up just enough, like you kind of scrape your chest across the bottom, the sand in the water. But the armor protects you from any pretty severe road rash.
Good. I'll take it.
I believe that leaves us with this just Rory up there.
I am going to take my last burning potion, and I am going to hurl it at the strange black housey thing, and then run like fuck.
Okay.
Damn it, I'm gonna grab 3 momentum out of the pool for this too.
Oh yeah.
Go for it. I filled her up.
Yep, I like 5 dice. 5 dice is nice. I'm going to re-roll the 18.
Okay. Nice, all successes. So yeah, so you lob the fire in. It kind of explodes around it, and in the flames you can see that it seems to there's like you can see a set of stairs that go down, indicating there's probably some sort of underground complex that these creatures were fleeing into. But it does kind of burn away that shadowy darkness, probably disrupts the sorcerer's concentration to some extent.
Sweet.
End of round. End of the round. That's going to happen. So the things that were making their way to the temple entrance kind of like shy back a little bit from the fire, so they haven't quite gotten off the map yet, but they have no interest in taking part of what's happening on the outside here. They're just running full out for that little complex, and then the fire explodes, and they kind of like shield their eyes and kind of like arch backwards a little bit, let out this horrible kind of combination scream croaking sound.
Angry
Glad I'm not there
or
for that.
sorrowful or pain.
More of a, if you had to identify it, more of a fear type of thing. Like the area that they were running to for safety just got engulfed in fire. That sort of reaction.
Yes, and the tentacle monster will come eat them.
So yeah, kind of between the fire and the frying pan sort of deal.
Well, they are fish.
Alrighty, back around to the top. Kara, one more swimming roll will get you to the longboat.
I gotta spend some momentum to make sure I get to where I need to go. Athletics, right?
You have a full thing of it.
Yep.
Difficulty was.
Difficulty for you is 1.
So it's a momentum.
Okay. Tebin is going to try to swim. He is having a rough go of it, though.
Spend some fortune there, boy.
He will.
Somebody was liable to end up cracking bait.
Ooh, complication. But he does manage to make some distance, though. What will his complication be? Complication will be that he loses one of his daggers in the process. But he does manage to get some distance, which is good because the drowning rules in this are almost as bad as the persistent rules.
Yeah, they're not good.
Okay. Okay, so Clytius is down. Clytius can give me one swimming roll. Are you just going to where the longboat is, or are you trying to swim out to the actual ship?
No, I'm going to the longboat. Where the longboat is.
Okay, perfect.
Gonna drag it into the water.
Yep. So it is a difficulty 0 athletics test for you to swim over to the longboat. So you don't have to roll. You can if you want to generate some momentum.
Yeah, we're down. I might as well give it a try. Swimming. Where are you? Where are you swimming?
It's under athletics.
Ah, okay.
Of course.
Oh,
Good. Yeah, I definitely need talents for athletics. I got nothing. I got a reroll for sailing. But this isn't it.
So you managed to kind of flounder your way to shore. By that point, Caro has caught up, I believe.
I thought I was in the lead.
Yeah. Well, he basically dove off. He's there. You're there at the same time, at the longboat. But as you get the start to get the longboat ready, you realize that at some point during this thing, when you dove off, you apparently forgot to secure your cutlass, and it's out there someplace.
God damn it.
So that puts I believe Caro and Clytius at the longboat. Debian 2 zones out. Rory and Ragnar.
Gonna have to stab someone and take another cutlass.
I am going to wander over to where I can access and climb down the cliff face, to be exactly right where where the longboat is going to be.
Okay. It is athletics for climbing.
Which is better than my acrobatics, so yes.
There you go.
Oh, we're going to spend some momentum too.
There currently isn't any.
Yep, I bunted it.
Talent? No, the other point. The
Fortune.
Yes, fortune. Fortune favors the climbing.
Okay. Okay. So it is slow going. It will take you a couple of rounds to get down to where the longboat is, but you can do so safely.
Yes, not crashing and hurting is a very good thing.
I believe that leaves us with Ragnar.
Yeah. Ragnar is going to just look at the cliff and say, to hell with this, and he's just going to, like, get over where roughly the longboat is and just jump.
Okay. That will be difficulty 2 acrobatics.
Can I spend a fortune on this to...
You sure can.
Dive!
That's what you're for.
Dive!
They're like the not dying points.
Yeah. So what does that entail me to now? What do I
Um,
do?
when your acrobatics things come up, just put 1 in fortune and it'll automatically calculate, but it basically buys a die automatically set out of 1.
All right. Spend fortune 1. Let's go. Actually, I need to put the almost didn't put the difficulty up. Charge and spend fortune, yes.
Hey, it made it.
All right.
It's a
Yeet.
nice one.
By all means, yeet yourself off that cliff.
I've had worse falls.
So eventually Rory makes his way safely down the cliff. You guys are down at the longboat. As you guys are kind of like waiting for Rory to finish down, waiting for Tebby to catch up. Those of you that are still like in the water, like even just like ankle deep, as you get the longboat ready, you can feel the temperature in the water drop.
Yeah, if I can get the longboat in the water, I'm gonna pick people up. I'm gonna
Okay.
like as soon as possible.
Okay.
How much time do we have before everyone gathers? Just in rounds for recovery.
Rory's like 2 rounds out. Tebian is 1 round out. So you've got 2 rounds till everybody's on the beach.
So we can do some recoveries, resistance. Discipline.
Yes, you can. At this point, for the most part, combat is over. So vigor will recover.
Okay,
Resolve will recover as you guys are like, okay, we're safe. But as Rory's climbing down, there's that chill that runs through the water, and you can feel this kind of counter current rushing against the water, like something very, very large moves through the water, just kind of in your vicinity. And you see another tentacled beast materialize where the first one materialized, and it just latches its tentacles onto that one that is by now mostly up the escarpment and pulls it back down.
That's our cue, gentlemen. Back to the ship.
What the shit?
It's best not to try to contemplate, Lottie. Let's just count our blessings and get out.
Right. Yeah.
And there is a tremendous thrashing of water over in that area.
Will you look at the time? 1:15, time to go.
Put your backs into it, gentlemen. Put your backs into it.
I'd like to like push extra hard on my minions to get going. Let's go, move it.
Okay.
I'm sure there's never been a more motivated crew to row a longboat.
I expect not. Yeah.
So they put their backs into it. I will get whoever has the best observation to give me an observation check.
Probably not Ragnar.
Tebian, I think. Right?
Tebby is not here, is he? Or...
Yeah, he's got a 12, but he's got some talent.
I've got 10.
I'm only got 9.
Mine is 13.
There you go.
Ding ding.
Tebian's got a re-roll, though.
So do I.
No, there you go. All you, Clays.
We'll just call him Eagle Eyes now.
Did it roll?
It doesn't look like it.
I see an 8 and a 10, but I don't see it populating.
So an 8 and a 10, those are both successes for you. So you would generate 1 momentum.
Alright, I'll reload just to be safe.
So as you're like hauling ass towards your ship, Clytius, you're kind of just like absently kind of looking out to make sure nothing is following you. But not directly because you don't want to have your brain broken. But you see on the beach over by where the little villa is, you see a figure standing on the beach looking directly at where those two creatures were, holding their hands up in the air, and then they kind of gradually bring them down. And as they do, you can see the whirlpool close and disappear.
Okay. Did it suck the beasties back in, or?
You don't see the beasties or the tentacles.
Oh, good. Well, there's the asshole right there.
That doesn't mean we stop rowing, gentlemen.
Oh, no. I'm just letting you know.
Anybody have a bow and a snake they want to fire?
Got a ballista as soon as we get to that ship.
So yes, you guys can make your way back to your ship.
That's what we're going to do.
Assuming we get there, what's our next move?
Lily, that's a really good question.
All right, gentlemen, let's gather up in the ready room and figure out what our next step is, shall we?
I'll head to the galley. I'll get some snacks and some drinks.
All
Alrighty. So yes, somewhat battered and bruised, you do manage to make your way back to the ship. Rory gets the galley going. Everybody gets some warm food because the water was a bit chilly. Everybody gets some food, some drinks. All vigor is recovered. All resolve is recovered.
Excellent.
So I'm going to put orders out for the crew to get this ship underway. I want to be out of sight of this island. I don't want to go too far, but I want us to be, beyond the horizon.
Gotcha. Okay.
Out of the line of fire.
Yeah, we're going to have ready stations, I suppose, yellow alert kind of deal. I want people on the ballistas. I want, damage crews ready. And we're going to debrief in the captain's cabin.
Okay.
Didn't we have a different ship last time?
Maybe this is the one that I currently have. But I can't find my map I did of the down below.
That's fine. All right, so once we're fed and dry and, recovered from the events. The captain's going to bring all the senior staff in together to have a conversation.
Okay.
Gentlemen, that could have gone better, yes?
Agreed.
Oh, a wee bit.
Well, we have to determine what the next steps is to deal with this particular sorcerer. Claudius, you were saying you saw some man doing some sort of magic shit on top of the knoll there?
Yeah, I think I saw him, or at least where he was coming from.
So at least we know he's here.
Well, and two, when I burnt down the shack there with the black energy around it, it looks like there's a stairway that goes down. So there's probably some kind of an underground complex.
All right. I don't suppose you have a bunch more fire on you.
Nah, that was my last one to burn down.
All right. What do you need to get more?
I need to find flammable ingredients.
Perhaps if we circle the island and come in from the other side, we might be able to find some things.
No, it's possible.
Don't suppose the pitch that is on this ship is going to keep it or be useful to you?
Possibly. I don't know, Chris.
It would be, you would have to like distill it down into something more volatile. Like pitch will burn, but it's not inherently volatile. It needs an exterior flame source.
Okay, so it needs some love and attention, but we can get it there.
You can certainly try.
Well, we have rum and we have pitch. Surely you can set something on fire with that, yeah?
I'll go to brewing later.
All right. Claudius, what do you think we should be doing next?
If I might, Captain. It's possible that after what he's done with that summoning, and we don't know the nature of those creatures, whether or not they were just already underground, but I would think at this point in time he would be reasonably weakened.
The only thing I have to contribute might be the element of surprise, as such as it is gone. So we needn't worry about trying to be sneaky.
Or the reality of it is the fact that they've chased us away, and perhaps he says, ha ha ha, those fools will never want to come back, and maybe they get caught unawares again.
Well, he's not wrong in a certain way. We don't want to go back. But that said, if you remember, not so long ago, that particular sorcerer decided to light our ship on fire while we were still in it. That is not a slight. I'm allowed or willing to let go.
Oh, no.
I would definitely leave him dead behind us than alive.
So we need to figure out a way that we can bring this man to heel. Now, we have fire to work with. Anyone else got ideas?
Part of it, perhaps, is that maybe we need a bit more information. I don't know if we could go back to Tortuge to get more. It's hard to say. We beat the stuff, but or maybe we can raid something, get some practice.
There is that village and the manor house, I believe. We spotted it on the other side of the island. We could perhaps gather some information there, or some supplies, or both.
Well, I guarantee you we're not sailing back to home port. This man is on this island. If I have my way, he's never going to leave it.
Well, it is. The question is, when are we going to have to deal with a returning pirate ship? I guess I'm sure the village is probably where Deimos probably wouldn't be surprised if it's his estate.
Maybe we get lucky. We can kill two birds with one stone, as they say. What do you think, Ragnar? You've been awful quiet.
I think this sorcerer needs to die soon. I'm willing to go back on a different side of the island if the rest of you are.
I wonder if there's a way, lads, that we can get the go around to that other side, but essentially moor the boat, take the longboat, and come on the other side, and then approach the village overland.
An overland approach might be the best way, given the nature of our quarry and his abilities that he's demonstrated so far.
Aye, 'tis best to stay away from the cliff.
So what do you think, gentlemen? We start at the estate, or you want to start at that little village?
I think the village will do better to give us a hint as to what we might be working with.
I agree with Claudius.
Anyone see a dock there? Should we bring the ship in, or should we, moor out into the harbor and bring the longboat in?
There were definitely docks there when you scouted it from afar, and they do have like a couple of small fishing vessels and the like, so.
All right, gentlemen, here's what I'm thinking. We bring the Kraken right in, we dock right next to that particular village. We make sure he's aware that we're here.
Well, he's on the other side of the freaking island, so unless he's one speedy son of a bitch, we shouldn't have him in particular to worry about.
Well, I expect that the moment we come into sight, there's going to be a runner going after him, assuming he's in charge of this particular place. But irregardless,
I would expect there, lads, that this is probably a pirate village for Deimos and his crew. So it's probably hostile. I don't know if we necessarily want to park the ship in the dock, but we could always try.
how about we make a pass and just see how hostile they want to be? We'll bring all the men to alert, and they want to be hostile. We'll sink their fucking ships as they come. But this sorcerer, I tell you, does not leave this island today.
Very well. Anyone have any injuries they need tended to then?
I'm good, actually. Do we have
Well,
any extra cutlasses aboard?
Yeah, you do have a couple from when you first took the Wind Rider. So yeah, there are extra cutlasses and stuff on board.
Right. I'll take another.
who's our council guy? Do we have a council guy?
I don't think so.
Depends on what skill governs that.
Council.
Personality council, yeah.
I think that might be you,
Yeah.
Captain.
No, I've got 2 levels in it, so I got 10.
Oh, good.
And Tebian does actually have a wound.
Okie dokie.
Oh, wait, no, sorry, he's got a treated wound.
All right, everyone get prepared. Rory, I need to speak with you for a bit. I want you to debrief me on what you've seen and what you understand about this particular situation.
I can. Should I get the good rum?
Please do.
All right.
I want to get some friggin' rope.
I expect we have rope on board, right?
Yes, you do.
God, I'd hope.
Yeah, but until now, I haven't had any on my character sheet, so I'm gonna get some friggin' rope.
All right. We're going to spend some time preparing. Hopefully, Rory can counsel me into feeling a little bit better because I am traumatized through the nines.
So yeah, that would be a council roll. It is difficulty 1, which will treat 1 trauma, and 1 more for every momentum you spend. And
Okay.
just as a note, because this is something that came up in Tony's game, if you guys ever get a chance to, when you're doing your carousing and everything, you can buy items that will enhance skills. So you could specifically buy, say, the good rum, and then it would be a resource you can spend to get D20s without using momentum. Just because gear in this game actually does have tangible in-game benefits, which is nice.
Yeah, it's really cool.
I just wrote down rope. Is that all right, Chris?
Yep, that'll be fine. Basically, I will treat rope as a, like, assuming you're using it for climbing or something, it'll be treated like a tool, so the difficulty will be less. Yep, the difficulty will be less.
All right.
I'll assume that you grab like some rope and also like some spikes and stuff that you can use.
Okay.
Well, all right then. I guess we'll do a little council rolling as I listen to the horrors of Caro's mind.
Rory and the captain are going to share a bottle.
Now, I've got 1 momentum, but that would definitely, if I roll the 2 dice and I at least get 1, then I
think we lose it. I think we lose it between scenes. You might as well spend it.
Yep, you will lose it between scenes.
Yeah, but I was just thinking that, so I've got to spend, well, I'll probably generate a momentum, hopefully, with 3 dice. So that way I can at least, I think, Caro's got, 2?
2, yeah.
So I was just wondering if it's worth the risk to just roll the 2 dice and hope to get 1 success and then spend the momentum we have? Or is it better to roll the 3 dice and then hopefully generate a momentum?
Depends on your skill.
Generally, it's almost always better to roll more dice.
Yeah, I was thinking that myself. So I'll take the extra dice. Hopefully, we'll generate a bonus momentum that we can then put into the healing.
Unless your complication range is through the roof, it's generally always better to roll more dice.
Yeah, and I've got I got 10, so I got like a 50-50 chance of, hitting. So more dice means more hitting.
Yep.
So Don, I posted the mechanics for the rope and the spikes into the Discord.
Okay.
And yeah, Ragnar, you can definitely gather together the Marines, and you've got some new bodies as well now because you did recruit some people in Tortage, so you've got a mostly full crew.
Oh, continue.
It's trying to tell me that we don't have momentum.
That's very weird because you've got 1.
There we go.
Right.
Fixed them up right nice.
So after your harrowing escape, Rory and the captain are sharing a bottle and trying to figure out what exactly it is that you're dealing with. Clytius is basically has grabbed some of the for when you're boarding ships, you've got, like, I can't remember what the actual thing's called, but it's like the gangplank that goes down, but it's got spikes in it to dig into the gunnels of the other ship. So you've gotten a couple of those spikes as well as a small hammer.
Boarding ramp.
Yes, I think there's an actual specific name for it, but I can't remember
There
what it
is.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know what we mean. So yeah, you've grabbed like some of those spikes and a small hammer, and a good like hefty amount of rope just in case you need to do any more climbing. Because while you manage to successfully dive off the cliff, there's really only two types of cliff divers: successful and not. And you're not sure that you could manage to pull that off again if push came to shove. So you're like,
Yeah.
you're ready for any sort of mountaineering that may need to happen. And Ragnar, a lot of the new crew they're relatively undisciplined. I mean, they're pirates that you hired in a pirate bar on a pirate island.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm mainly going to focus on the ones that have been fighting by my side for a while.
okay.
And I'm going to say, as you know, as you can probably tell, Cassian is no longer with us. He was my number 2. And I'm going to go to one of the more senior members of my Marines. I'm going to go, you, what's your name?
Oh, sure. Give me a second. Let me find my name chart.
I did this on purpose, Chris.
Wow. What kind of a leader are you that you don't know their name? It's like, hey, you, fodder number 2, come on over.
Pretty much.
Ragnar's a lead from the front kind of leader. He's never looked back to look at.
I don't care about your personal lives. I care more about what you can do on the field.
So this fairly athletic looking Harkanian gentleman is like, my name is Yusaki.
Well, you look pretty capable. Would I be correct?
I'm better with a horse, good with a bow. But I can hold my own.
Do you think you might be capable to be my number 2?
He kind of looks at the rest. He's like, yes.
Congratulations, you've just been promoted to admiral. Oh no.
Like, well, and I look at the rest. Like, consider this your promotion.
There's like a little bit of grumbling, but it's more along the lines of how it seems like the people that have been on board the ship longer are getting special treatment. But then there's also that's how it goes, of course. So yeah, it's mainly talk amongst the newer pirate crew who haven't been with you guys long enough to know how things go.
At that point, I'm going to speak up then. I'm going to be like, continue to show me great work, and you will get the same privilege.
Make
privilege of dying next.
Also make a command roll.
Ooh.
But in this case, you could actually use your warfare instead.
I would like to use my warfare.
Can I come on deck and assist?
Yes.
Just by being like steely glare and all that?
Yeah, just basically as he's like giving out the things, you're just kind of in the background, just kind of nodding intensely.
Warfare. Just a difficulty 1?
Difficulty 1. So there is some complaining. They notice the captain watching, and it seems like they understand that if they're with you guys long enough, then they'll start to see some dividends. But so far, since they've signed on with you guys in Tortage, they haven't actually seen anything. They haven't raided, they haven't pillaged, they haven't pirated. So there's a little bit of disagreement there. Whereas the people that have been with you since the island, have raided some ships and gotten paid, and there seems to be that sort of divide that will smooth itself out once the new people actually get paid.
Yes. I would like it to be well known that those that pull their weight will get their dues.
Right now, can I have the attention of the crew for a moment?
All eyes on the captain.
All right, gentlemen. I see that there's some eyes being cast down near the deck instead of looking forward to opportunities, and this won't do. Now I understand that you're looking at this particular little island and wondering why we're here. Well, we're here for a couple things. One, we're here because I said so. And secondly, we're here because there's a man here that needs killing. Now, is this going to fill your pockets full of riches and gold? Probably not.
It might.
Well, it might, but that's not the intent here. See, this particular individual, he harmed me and mine, lit us on fire, broke the pirate code, and that cannot be unanswered. But the good news, gentlemen, is once we're done here, we've been invited on a raid along the coast. A whole flotilla, a whole armada of ships. And there'll be plenty of loot for everyone. But I want to make something very clear to you. Very, very clear to each and every one of you. We're not leaving this island until that man is dead, strung up, or tossed in a volcano. Is that clear?
Aye, Captain.
Hi lads, I'd also like to point out, I mean, there is an estate, a village, and like there's definitely stuff that is going to be there, and let's face it, what sorcerer do you know that doesn't surround himself with the riches that he needs in order to make things happen?
Right.
Gabriel.
I'll get Caro can give me a command with assistance from Rory.
Cool.
Okay. I'll drop a momentum on that.
Huh, I actually have the command skill. I roll as well.
You roll 1 die, yes.
There's a new assist button there if you like.
Oh, there is. And where would that be?
If you click command, there should be a little box under difficulty that says assist.
Ah, click the assist box. That's cool. Done.
4 successes.
Perfect. All right. So that'll give you like 4 momentum. It's difficulty 0. Really, it's just a momentum gathering tool. But yeah, at the idea that when you mention sorcerer, everybody's like, whispers start to go through the crowd. Everybody is a little bit, nobody said anything about sorcery. But then it's like, sorcerers have riches and gold and money, and everybody's like, I do like gold. So the crew is currently not in a mutinous state with the promise of treasure looming on the horizon.
As long as they're motivated to kill this fucking sorcerer, Carol doesn't give a shit. Bring all hands on deck. We're going to get everyone in battle ready stance. We're going to sail ourselves into the harbor. All right, Claudius, take us in. Yeah, Cam, you can sit up.
All right, it is not a problem at all to pull yourself into the harbor, and there are, like I said, there are several smaller fishing vessels around. There's people out working, people working the docks. They don't seem surprised to see your ship pulling in. A couple people wave at you as you're making your way, and it is a deep water harbor, so you don't have to worry about the deep draft of your vessel. You can pull right up and right up to the dock.
Excellent.
Maybe it's just a place where the pirates occasionally show up and hang out.
And judging from what you can see, like there's a couple of like ramshackle houses here and there, things made from largely wood and mud shacks, as it were. Seems to be a lot of fish being taken off board ships. It is predominantly a fishing village, fishing town. Looking up off the docks, you can see a couple of places that kind of stand out. There's very definitely a blacksmith here on the island. Couple of people that seem to be fishmongers talking to the different crews. Kind of getting their bids in early for the day's catch. Nobody seems to really pay you much mind.
Oh, did I get time to try to make new ingredients?
Depends on how long you guys want to spend on the boat doing things. It'll take you probably about a day to try to get some of the stuff distilled down.
I'm assuming we don't have that day.
It's up to you guys. Tony's AFK for a second.
Okay.
I'd say it's up to the captain. I mean, the sorcerer will regain his strength probably, but we don't know at what rate.
So yeah, if you guys want to take the day, you definitely have the time. You're not the only time constraint you're under is self-imposed, really. So.
I don't think we're in a hurry, right?
At this point, probably not.
So that being the case, Rory can make an alchemy check.
Okie dokie. And I
Spend
think,
momentum.
yeah, I'm gonna spend 3. So hopefully that'll add us a bunch more too.
Oof. All right. So yeah, Rory sets up after getting food for everybody. Kind of puts like the cooking pots away and gets out the alchemy pots.
I'm glad they're different pots.
They are different pots, and manages to basically very, very carefully, since he's dealing with highly combustible things on a wooden ship. starts distilling down like this pitch and rum mix into something highly, highly, highly volatile. So you would have, you can basically get one ingredient plus one for every momentum you want to spend.
Well, we got 2 momentum in the hopper still, so I'll take the 5 I generated and turn it into like 6 ingredients.
Okay, perfect. And that will use up any excess pitch that you have. Anything else that you use from the pitch stores here is going to detrimentally affect any repairs you may have to make on the ship.
Fair.
Right, make a note to lay in some more pitch, Captain.
So now I get to roll to create them.
Yes.
Okay, well. So let's see. Well, since I've got master formula burning, I only need one ingredient to do whatever I need to do.
Yeah, it's really a question of how volatile you want to make them.
Yeah, pretty much. I usually use level 2s just as the simple one because they're easier, but kind of like that level 3. That worked awfully nice. I like the area. So I think what I'm going to do is right out of the gates, I'm going to try for the level 3 potion.
Okay.
And I'm going to I figure I'd grab the 2 momentum that we have too and use it.
I mean, if you trust your rolls, you could go all out and try to make hellish brimstone.
Yeah, but that's one thing. When we find some super uber big bad, maybe that's what we'll have to save that for. But that's a make when we're in town someday and just leave it somewhere where it won't be disturbed. So I'll start with trying to make a level 3 one. I'll put in the 2 momentum we have. I'm going to re-roll the 19. Much better.
All right. So you do, you spend several hours kind of getting this down, and it's highly, highly volatile, but you do manage to get it down into one. You get one dose of it and one more for every momentum you would like to spend. At the cost of one ingredient per.
Okay, absolutely. So since I got the win on the level 3, I would like more level 3 potions. So all right, so we generated 4 momentum. Do we need momentum in the pool, guys, or do we have another way to get more?
Smoke, where we go?
Yeah, drain it.
I'm going to use that 4, and we'll make 5 level 3 potions.
Okay, perfect. And then you can make note that you still have one alchemical ingredient left.
Sounds good.
Basically, it's just easier to do it this way than rolling like 5, 6, 7, a dozen different times.
Absolutely, and it doesn't make as much momentum for us.
Yeah. All right. But
so
yeah,
I'll save the other ingredient for later.
Okay. So it does take the better part of a day, and the smells coming out of the kitchen are really quite noxious, and the fumes are giving like some of the crew headaches. Everybody is quite happy to pull into port and get off the ship and let it air out a bit.
Yeah, occasionally there's a little cackle coming from the galley.
Just be careful with all that.
I'd like to
Of
spend
course.
the time actually training my my new number 2 in the ways of a
Perfect. Yes. He doesn't take to it terribly well. He is very much an archer as opposed to a melee fighter.
I'd like
Mhm.
him to be comfortable in his own skill set at the same time. Like I'm gonna I'd like to indoctrinate him to the mindset of a Nordheimer, but as long as he dies with a weapon in hand, he'll make it to the promised land.
Having an archer is not a bad idea.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with having an archer.
Yeah, and he does actually have it's a style of bow that you've never seen before. It's a little bit like, you know how normally a bow the hand grip is roughly in the middle.
Yeah.
It's down towards one end.
Is he like a cavalry archer?
Yeah, it's a Harkanian horsebow.
That is awesome.
Just so folks are aware, kind of cultural speaking, the Harkanians is Howard's shorthand for the Harkanians was essentially ancient Mongol.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of when you said it.
So they're like a nomadic, horse-based nomadic tribe. But yeah, he's decent enough with a sword or a cutlass or whatever. He's a little bit better with a bow.
Yeah, upon seeing him try to use the sword, though, I'd like to actually be like, no, bow. Use a bow.
Yeah, you know, he's his sword fighting is a lot of hacking as opposed to slashing and parrying. The sort of thing you would expect if you were like riding down somebody on a horse.
Yeah.
So he's like, maybe I could use an axe. We'll see.
Maybe.
So yes, so everybody has a chance to get some rest. Try to put the troubling day behind them. The next day you pull into the port, and it is a lovely little fishing village.
Yeah, we're coming in like all arms. Everyone's on the rails. The
No
bus is
fish
mounted.
monsters, nothing.
No fish monsters. As they see like the armed crew and everything, everybody's kind of like, that there is unusual. Yep. Oh.
We're not making any attempts to hide the fact that we are coming in force.
They're a little kind of, taken aback as you pull in, fully armed and everything, but certainly not aggressive or angry or anything.
Gentlemen, assuming we make it to the dock,
You do.
captain will stagger off or saunter off, onto the dock, making a show of it, with Claudius and Ragnar with him.
Ragnar is also bringing his entire marine force with him.
Gentlemen, how y'all doing today?
You're doing just fine there, stranger.
Excellent. We've come to purchase some wares and perhaps get some respite from the sea.
Oh, yeah, certainly. We're definitely open for trade, especially if you've got any goods from the mainland.
I'm sure we have something in the hold.
Oh. Well, come on aboard then. Or off board.
Well, perfect. Do you have a mayor in this particular place? Or a fellow in charge?
Oh, no. I mean, the closest would probably be, there's Keldon. Keldon's one of the merchants. And there's Arthenia. She's the local healer.
Well, I don't suppose you could fetch both of those people and have them meet me at your local tavern if you have one?
Well, I got fish to unload.
Well, maybe you could find someone else to do it. Or maybe I could just have my men scour the town and figure out where the fuck these people are. Whichever you think is easiest.
Well, the Keldon's at a shop just up the hill there to the left, and Arthenia's got a place just out of town, just before you get to the fields.
Oh, I see how this. All right. Have we gathered a crowd of any sort?
It's a small crowd, but like I said, most of these people are very nonplussed by the fact that you're here.
Is there a kid, like a young boy?
There are some young kids, yeah.
You boy, come here.
He comes up, so yes, sir.
Could you go fetch those two individuals and tell them to meet you? Is there a tavern here or a bar of some sort?
Like, oh, not really. We don't get many. We don't get many visitors, so not much need. I mean, most people just hang around outside the blacksmith shop up there.
All right, you fetch them so I can speak with them, and we'll meet at the blacksmith shop, which apparently is a place to be. Rora, can you bring us a cask of rum, perhaps for the folk here?
Hi, Captain. See what we got left.
All right.
And Karo, give me an observation check.
Guardsman eye lets me use command, I believe.
There you go.
Let me double check that. Command, yep.
Ragnar's gonna lean into Yuzaki and say, "I come from a frozen wasteland, and even then, these guys live in the fucking sticks. Who doesn't have a tavern?"
2 successes.
You notice that the townspeople, they do have that same kind of pallid complexion that you saw on the guards up at the temple, but they look much more human.
How many are we talking here?
You've seen probably like 30 or 40 on the docks. There's more up in towns. They've made mention of the fields. Judging by the size of the village and everything, might be about 300 people in this village.
I'll lean over to Ragnar. Hey, Ragnar.
Yes, Captain.
I'm not a big fan of all this nonsense going on. Maybe we should meet them down here. You think you can get some benches or chairs or something out here? Keep the boys on watch. All right.
Yes, Captain. And we'll go and attempt to do that.
Clydes, you stick with me. All right.
Sure.
So yeah, you managed to get some, not necessarily chairs and benches, but like some crates and barrels and stuff for people to sit on.
Excellent. I prefer to stand.
Yeah, he's trying to make it into some kind of formal thing. Doesn't seem to be working, but that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah. And after like half an hour or so, the boy comes back with a gentleman and a middle-aged gentleman and kind of an older woman. Both of them look like their clothes are functional but not well off. I mean, definitely, has been through the washing board a few times. But other than that, they seem, everybody seems pleasant enough. The gentleman says, like, I heard there's folks on the mainland looking for us. I'm Keldon. This is Arthenia, where I guess they kind of look at each other, and he's like, leaders, maybe. I don't know.
Elders, wise men, maybe. Who knows? I'm not sure how your society works.
Well, everybody kind of does their thing and helps each other out. Don't get too caught up in titles and the like.
Well, it's been my experience that titles are a very important thing.
Well,
chains of command are kind of what makes the world go round, are they not?
well, out here, folks know that, if they need things from the mainland to let me know, I, you know, send ships out to the mainland every 3 months or so for supplies. Folks know that if something untoward happens and they need some healing, Arthenia is here to help. They know, they know who to go to if they need a thing done, and everybody kind of helps one another. So we don't really need titles or leadership, but we understand that our ways are not the ways of the mainland. So
Well, I'm not a mainlander, as they say. I'm more of a seafaring folk, but I have some questions that maybe you can answer for me.
oh well, we can certainly try.
Who lives on the other side of this island in that little tower thing?
The up there at the temple.
Whatever it's called, yeah.
I don't think anybody lives up there. I mean, it's ruins. I know there was some folks there, some noble folks that were doing some, what do they call it? They dig up things. Just
No, noble folk.
well, I assume. I mean, they had the money to just spend their days digging up old stuff at a ruined temple, but not honest work if you ask me.
Yeah, probably some archaeologists or treasure hunters.
Well, maybe, but there's a particular individual up there who's vexed me a great deal.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Well, it is unfortunate because I don't know anything about this gentleman, but I'm sure somebody in this particular crowd may or may not know something about this particular individual.
The woman Arthenia speaks up. She's like, there's one of the lumberjacks here, Darklow. I've been treating him. He said he found him wandering the woods one night, naked, suffering from exposure, ranting, claiming that he'd seen something up at the temple area. Took me quite a while to get him calmed down and sleeping again, and even in his sleep he kept mumbling something about giant squid and human fish swimming in the inlet in the channel there. I've been keeping him sedated. I don't know what I can do to actually fix him.
Well, I don't suppose my good friend Roy here would be able to have a conversation with this man.
I mean, I can take you to see him. I don't know if you can have a conversation with him or not.
Well, I can try. It's not something we haven't seen before.
And then Keldon again speaks up and says, this individual that's causing you trouble, do you know who he is, what he looks like? I mean, as you can tell, we're a pretty small group here. We do tend to notice strangers that come by.
Well, tell me what you know about the estate that's not so far from here. Who owns that particular thing?
Oh, one of the folks that's been working up there at the temple, the younger one, the pretty one. My son's been contracted to do some restoration work for her.
Oh, I see.
I mean, he's almost done, but he's going there with the delivery a little bit later today. He could take a message for you, maybe.
Well, perhaps he can introduce us. I apologize. My name's Captain Carroll.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he could do that.
That'd be lovely. Rory, would you like to go speak to this patient, seeing that you're the resident medic?
Hi, tis Captain. It'd be my pleasure.
Well, maybe we'll start there. And assuming all these conversations go well, maybe we'll talk about some trade.
Certainly. Anything. If you've got foodstuffs or if you've got any like iron tools or anything, that's mainly what I get from the mainland. So if you see anything here, I mean, I don't know if there's anything you're looking for, but feel free to look.
I'll go back to the ship and see what we've got, shall I, Captain?
Please do, Claudius.
I will do so.
So Arthenia will lead Rory and whoever else is going.
I'll take Ragnar with me.
Sounds good. I'll take Yuzaki with me and leave the rest with the captain.
So yeah, she leads you through the little village, and you get a much better view of the village. And it's, you know, some houses here and there. It's not large by any stretch. And she leads you to a little homestead. Kind of there are some farmlands on the outside of the village, kind of on the inward side of the island. And where the village kind of ends and the farmlands begin, kind of in between, she's got like this little homestead. Nice little garden. Rory, you do notice that some of the things that she has growing in the gardens are of a more medicinal bent as opposed to food crops.
So more alchemical.
Not so much alchemical as medicinal, although they could certainly be used for alchemy given the proper preparation.
Yeah, so I mean, like, treat this with this, treat that with that type of thing.
Yes. And she opens the door to the shack, and there's this you can hear this murmuring voice, and she kind of leads you into the bedroom area, and there's a gentleman kind of covered up with blankets, even though it's quite warm. Just seems to be mumbling over and over and over again.
What is he mumbling?
Do either of you speak Shemite?
No.
No, I've got like Argosian, Cimmerian, and Nordheimer.
So you can't make out what he's saying.
You've got a Shemite gentleman with you.
Yes.
So she'll very very kind of gently take some cool water, kind of like wet down his forehead, kind of very gently, not fully awake, but awake enough to respond.
Now, what does our archer speak?
He speaks Hyrcanian and probably Argosian.
Oh, my mistake. Sorry, I thought he was Shemish.
Yeah.
Shemite. I don't know.
I think Tebian is actually. But yeah, I think Argosian is generally the common language for you and your crew. So.
Fair.
Yeah, I just got Argosian and Nordheimer.
I do have linguistics. Is there a possibility I can piece some words together?
There's actually linguistics talents to do that sort of thing. But you can definitely identify it as Shemite, which is not surprising since you're off the coast of Shem. But as he kind of comes to, and she kind of talks to him in a very soothing voice, you can tell she's got a very kind of like gentle bedside manner. And she kind of speaks to him in Argosian, and he responds. So he does speak a couple of languages. And as she kind of like, it's kind of like waking him up slowly. As she's speaking to him in Argosian, he's starting to respond back, and that murmur is starting to be like there's words, kind of like a mashup between Shemite and Argosian. and he seems to be going on about like dark shapes and unseeable things and sea monsters and the color blue and the color green. And as he kind of becomes more and more conscious and starts to kind of realize what's going on to some extent, he looks at you, and again, just this mashup of Shemite and Argosian, and like with a complete look of panic in his face, just starts saying like monsters and shapes, colors, and it's trying to having a really hard time finding the words in a language you understand. But Rory, you can make a council test.
Okie dokie, a rolling we will go.
Alrighty. 2 is what you needed. There is no doubt in your mind that he is beyond help. His mind has been shattered.
Ugh, milady, can I talk to you in the other room, please?
So she kind of gently calms him down and lays him back down, and you can see just the strain of interacting to this extent has pretty much exhausted him. And then she'll join you in the other room.
I'm afraid to say I've seen this more than once in the past, and I'm afraid this man's brain is broken, for lack of a better concept. There is no fixing him, and there will be no getting better.
I was afraid of that, but hopefully
He has clearly encountered some unnatural being or force or situation, and his mind couldn't handle it, and it's retreated in upon itself.
Well, I was hoping I could get him to at least be able to take care of himself, but well,
Does he have family that can care for him?
he does, and I'll meet with them, and we'll discuss what's best.
Aye, because until he passes of his natural causes, sadly, I believe he'll be like this and tormented for most of his time.
Well, thank you. It's always good to get a second opinion, and there's not many here on the island that are capable. So,
Aye, lassie, I wish I had better news for you, but I'm afraid this kind of damage, it just can't be fixed.
okay. Well, hopefully you can still find what you're looking for here.
Well, we hope to be able to. Right now, it's just really more about some information, and I got a strange feeling that this lad, he fits into the puzzle as he, and I will be honest with you, better. The man that we were asking about, well, he has thrown his lot in with beings that would corrupt a man like this, and that's we are looking to find him.
I think there's something wrong up at the temple. A few weeks ago, there was an accident. As Kelvin said, there's some excavations. There was an accident, and I was called to help one of the workers. The young man and young woman who seemed to be in charge. There was something I could feel something in my soul. That there was something not right.
Like a bit of a darkness is creeping over you.
Yes. I tended to the worker and then left. I didn't think anything of it. But I think there is definitely something not right there.
Why? Well, it's quite possible these two are in league as well. We know there's one. There could always be more.
Yes. Oh, can you find your way back to the village, or should I take you?
Nah, lassie, it's good. We can make it ourselves. You take care of him and get to his family and see what they want to do.
Okay, thank you. And she'll kind of show you guys to the door.
All right. So we'll go wander back to the boat.
Okay. Back at the docks, what are you guys doing?
I think for the most part, the captain is, if we have a barrel of rum, he's passing it around. He's trying to keep the local populace entertained. He's telling stories. He's just throwing his charisma around.
Yeah, they seem quite taken with the stories and the rum especially. They do share some of they make like a local grain based alcohol that they share around as well. It's a little on the harsh side, but certainly drinkable.
I'll try to keep our crew more or less sober, but I'm trying to get as many of them drunk as I can.
And after probably 45 minutes or so, Rory and Ragnar come back.
Do we have anything on the ship that looks remotely like trade goods?
Not really. I mean, you've got some pitch, you've got some rope, you've got some wood, you've got a bit stuff for repairs for the ship, but nothing that... I mean, they're a fishing village,
Right.
so they would take that sort of thing in trade for sure.
Right, but that would leave us without it.
Yes.
In that case, maybe if we have some spare tools and maybe some spare supplies, we could trade for some of their supplies.
Yeah, you can like trade some stuff back and forth. Nothing that we need to really go into the detail on, but
Yeah, not necessarily better food, just different food.
yeah, definitely you can trade some things back and forth.
Or throw a couple drachmas at them because they can use that when they go get their own supply.
They're far more interested in trade than coin.
Okay.
And it's enough for you to guess that as far as like on the village goes, everything is barter based. Like if somebody needs something from the blacksmith, they'll be like, "Oh, I've got these 2 chickens. Can I get a new hoe?" and so on and so forth.
So civilized side.
The only
If we can trade for some chickens, that'd be great.
yeah, you can get a couple of good laying hens that will give you eggs for a bit before they need to be thrown into the stew pot.
Nice. Cotton. Can I speak to you, Matt?
Absolutely. Should you speak to me in the cabin, or is he all right?
We should probably speak to you in the cabin.
All right. Gentlemen, enjoy your drink. Me and my crew are going to go have a conversation. We'll be right back.
I'll entertain, Captain.
Perfect. Someone get out a fiddle or a mandolin or something. Get some music going. This is going to be a party today.
I make sure to take a glass of rum with me.
We should probably try to lay in some more fresh fruit if there's any to be had.
Yes, preventing scurvy is always a good idea.
Yeah, the island does have in the fields that they tend to, they do have like some small orange trees and the like.
Excellent.
As the captain and any crew going with them go back to the cabin, I'll change that scene just with, let me tell you a fine story from my home.
A rousing tale of Thor and Loki.
Try not to kill anyone.
We don't have to worry about that here. I'm not drunk enough for that yet.
Someone's got a report for me.
Hi, Captain. So, I went and I saw the man that she was saying had been affected. His brain is broken beyond recognition. I would clearly say he's insane now. Someone who did not have, your fortitude of mind to be able to throw off the terror, and this is what happens when you succumb to it. But in a discussion with her, we may have more to worry about. It turns out, and of course we had heard about the woman from the party, the expedition that's up at the ruins, and the estate. Well, Artessa, she feels that there is something wrong. The two young leaders of the group, she had gone up to there was an accident and she had to heal someone. And let's just say, much like if you run into that sorcerer, how that kind of cloying darkness that lives over your flesh for a bit, they have that effect on others.
All right.
So it's quite possible that they both could be in league with the man we're looking for, or they are at least independent sorcerers themselves.
Do you think it's safe to assume that the rest of the populace has some sort of inclination that there's something wrong going on here? Even just a superstition?
Quite possibly. It could be that they are outsiders here and they're looking for, probably, I would say, items of potential power, things like that from the old temple area, or at least what they believe to, maybe. They could be completely separate from the sorcerer that we know, but odds are fairly good. It's also they probably know who he is, perhaps have his permission. Who knows? They're probably maybe even in league with each other. But the other big thing, and I was thinking about this, and we're noticing with the folks that are here, how they are not too far away from really looking more like the creatures we were fighting. And I'm wondering if that's something like a spell, perhaps. Maybe they get a call, they come, they mutate. I don't know. It just seems fishy.
Pardon the pun.
Dum-dum.
Well, one thing I do know about most folk is the tablet superstitions. Maybe we can get these people talking. They can tell us about, any kind of strange things that's been happening in the last little while. The other good thing about superstitious folk is with a very good speech, and I am good at giving speeches.
Well, Captain, I was thinking, if you
can
get
whip them into a frenzy.
Well, if you get the story time going, and you talk about a couple of the superstitions that maybe you have yourself, and then you can bait them into kind of talking about theirs, and then we might learn more from that.
Well, I suppose you could do it that way. I was just thinking I'd just whip these crowd into a frenzy, and we just send 2, 3, 4 dozen folk up to go kill a witch. Pitchforks and torches and all that.
Well, these people seem fairly sedate, but I think they've got a light side and perhaps a dark side. I don't really want to see the dark side.
All right. What are the rest of you thinking? Gladys, you got an opinion?
Well, I'm pleased we didn't have to kill them all. I don't think anything we found out so far changes anything.
No, as far as I can tell, up near that temple or that tower, whatever it is where our bad guy is.
I think the only real question is, do you want to check out the estate slash mansion first, or head straight to the temple again?
Well, I'm thinking the question is whether we want to do this just ourselves or we just want to, do this loud with the whole town full of angry peasants.
I don't think mustering the rabble is going to add anything but bodies to the count.
Well, their body's not ours, though, right?
Seems a bit unnecessary.
All right. Ragnar, last thoughts?
I'm out with the people, entertaining.
Rory, last thoughts?
Well, Captain, I'm inclined to agree in certain ways with Clytius. I don't necessarily think getting these folks rabbled up is going to really do much of anything, except make them angry, and, well, we all know that anger may also turn back on us.
So we check the estate first then.
Aye, 'tis. I think the state would be a good idea, because we might be able to catch them unawares.
All right. You want to bring some boys? You want to leave the boys here?
Well, it probably wouldn't hurt if we had Ragnar just bring his little strike team with him.
Perfect. All right, let's get going.
Well, that way the others can, tend to the ship and make sure it's good.
Captain gets up, goes out on deck, Grim, and calls over to Grim.
Yes, Captain.
Grim, I'm going to take a few boys up into the hills. I expect you're going to keep this party going and, protect my ship while I'm gone.
Yes, sir. How long should we be expected to wait?
If I'm not back in 2 days, just assume I'm not coming back. How about that?
Will do. In 2 days, the ship is mine.
Fair enough.
And he smiles just like big, like shit-eating grin.
Now, do keep in mind, Grim, if you leave me before those 2 days are up, that's going to be a problem, yeah?
Oh, I'm a man of honor, sir.
Of course you are. We all are. Ragnar, gather your troops. Going for a hike.
Right. So you're gonna gather up some people?
Oi, Grim,
Yes.
just come over here for a minute.
He walks over.
I reach into a pouch, I take out a drachma, and I hand it to him, and I go, all right, so I'm betting the captain's back inside of 2 days, so I know you're all gonna run a little thing. So here, that's put that in for me.
Will do.
And if I don't come back, God, you can keep the drachma.
Of course. And yeah, you guys aren't even fully disembarked before you can tell that there is a betting pool going on.
Captain encourages the betting pool, and then we'll take Grim with the squad instead of Ragnar. He has to step away.
Well, I mean, Ragnar can go. He'll be running on autopilot.
Okay.
That'll work too. Whatever.
So yeah, so you guys make out. You guys are headed to the estate.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm assuming Tebian's still with the ship too.
Yes. So yeah, so the estate is basically, it's about a mile or so down the coast, essentially kind of around this little horseshoe bay. In a little cove. Definitely looking at the water, it is definitely deep enough to anchor a seagoing vessel at the estate as opposed to at the town. There's even like a little bit of a stone wharf. The grounds are very overgrown. Definitely nothing growing here on purpose. The only remaining building on the estate is the manor house. And even that, like, the roof is collapsed in places. The entire upper story is uninhabitable. But the first floor does in fact appear to be solid, and there is a little bit of a fence around the front, but it doesn't go completely around the front. There's parts where the gate or the fence has fallen in and not been cleaned up or repaired. The gate is still intact and closed, but you can just go around it if you wish. It is definitely in a pretty severe disrepair, but you can see there are signs of like scaffolding and stuff, like work is being done.
Yeah, we'll go to the gate. Is it locked?
Oddly enough, it is locked.
Can we reach through and unlock it, or is it like a padlock? Or
You could reach through and unlock it, or you could just go around it.
oh, we want to be civilized. We'll walk through the gate.
So you can very easily unlock the gate, make your way up the little path to the front door of the manor house. You do notice that the front door is new. It's like freshly hewn lumber.
Rory, would you like to announce us, please?
Hi, Captain. Would you like me to get out my bagpipes?
Whatever you think is best.
All right, then I'll just knock.
So the knock kind of, there's an echoing quality to it. But in fairly short order, it does creak open, and there's this very large gentleman. He's broader across the shoulders than either Clytius or Ragnar is. Dressed in like some sort of like finery, definitely like a butler sort of person would wear. His eyes are bulging ever so slightly. He's not only is he bald, but he's hairless. He has no eyelashes. He has no eyebrows. And you can see those flaps of skin on his neck.
Say no to dark magic, kids. Not even once.
And in a very kind of like deep voice with an unplaceable accent. It's like, yes, may we help?
Hi, Larry. Well, I'd like to introduce you to Captain Kera. I think he's got some business to do, perhaps. So enjoy.
I am Bractus. How can I help you, Captain?
I'm looking for the master of the house.
Oh, the master is not here. Perhaps Sabihi would be able to help you. Just a moment. And the door closes.
Oh, a big fella.
I'm just going to slide off to the side a little bit, Chris.
Okay.
And maybe get ready to stab whoever comes out of the door next.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just make sure to take a step or two
Just-
back. Swing through this.
Just in a low-key sort of way.
Give the big guy a little room.
So after another moment, the door opens again, and Bractus is there again. It's like, Sabihi is about to take her afternoon meal. She is somewhat indisposed, but she does wish to speak with you. Please come in. And he kind of moves back and he bows very stiffly. We do ask that you leave weapons here at the foyer. And he kind of gestures to like this kind of like crudely made table that is in the entrance area.
Look to the captain.
Fine by me. Captain pulls out his short sword, drops it on the table.
Grim and the men will decide to keep their weapons, but they will wait outside in case you need them.
It's fine, gentlemen. We're just having a conversation.
It is.
Orders, Captain?
Disarm. We'll go have a conversation. It's fine.
All right.
Aye, tis.
Clydius will draw out his cutlass and a dagger and put them on the table.
I'll put my cutlass on the table. Or scimitar, whichever one it is.
At the side of the scimitar, see, Bractus kind of looks at it like a little askance.
Good reaction or bad reaction?
More of a curious. Largely due to the fact that your scimitar is very obviously of Atlantean make.
Right. So with that note, I will kind of then pick it up again, walk it outside, hand it to Grim, and I'll say I'll be back for this.
Okay. So he leads you basically into a large dining room, which is just off the foyer. And everything that you've seen so far has been in like disrepair or various states of being repaired or cobbled together. The dining room is no exception, except the large dining room table and the chairs look like they're new, but they're finished furniture. And kind of seated at the far end facing you is this amazingly gorgeous looking Shemite woman. Can't be any older than like 23 or 24. Like long dark hair, wearing clothing that is specifically picked out to accentuate like everything. You guys have literally never seen anyone who looks like this. And she has two servants who are basically in the process of like serving lunch to her. And both of them are about the same size as Bractus.
Are they males as well, or?
One of them, you're gonna guess that one of them is male and one of them is female, but there's not a whole lot of discerning features.
Are those discerning features distinctly fishy discerning features?
Well, they have that kind of like pallid, moist look to the skin, complete lack of any hair, and those skin flaps on the neck.
Right.
And she motions for you to have a seat, and Bractus and the two servants will pull out chairs. And then one of the servants will go and bring out some extra plates and bowls and stuff. And the food is like, there's food on the table, kind of like, to be served. And there's a variety. There's some soup, there's some salad, there's pitchers of wine, all really lovingly put together. It's like, It's not often that I have visitors. Please excuse the mess. I am forced to redecorate.
Well, I love what you've done with the place.
It is a work in progress. But one must do what one does.
Certainly, certainly.
Clytius will hang back by the door and try to remain unnoticed, I guess.
Alright, you can make a stealth roll if you'd like.
All right.
It is going to be difficulty 4. Because there's not a whole lot of things to hide behind, unless you're specifically like, are you just trying to stay nondescript, or are you specifically like crouching down, hiding behind furniture?
Oh, no. Not trying to actively hide, just stay back.
In that case, there's no way, like, you can definitely stand back, but they all know you're there.
That's fine.
And to emotion, please have a seat, join us. If you're not
I'm good.
hungry, I understand.
Thank you.
Kara, of course, is taking all the spotlight.
Yeah, by all means. That was what I was trying to lean towards.
So, may I ask what brings you here? And she's like helping herself to some like soup and salad.
Well, do you mind if I eat as well?
By all means.
Excellent, excellent. You grow your servants here very large, I see.
Yes, they were a gift.
A gift. Now, if I got a gift like that on my ship, I could row that thing across the entire ocean in what, 3-4 days with that strength?
Rory's going to have a look over the table. He's going to see if there's something that he doesn't know what it is, and then he's going to try that.
Okay. Yeah, there's like definitely some seafood and stuff, and the salad is like a grain based salad, like a tabbouleh type of salad.
I would mentally make recipes as I'm trying things.
It's adequately prepared. It's not, it's not truly exceptional, but it's tasty and it's filling. So what do I owe the pleasure? Oh, forgive me. My name is Zabihi.
Sabihi. I'm Captain Caro.
Oh, it's a pleasure, Captain.
Oi, I'm Rory.
It's a pleasure. I see you have quite the eclectic crew there, Captain. Most merchants that I know of tend to, deal with their own nationality. So that is interesting.
Well, I'm not really a merchant, per se.
Oh, do tell.
Well, let's just say I'm on a fact-finding mission.
And what sort of facts do you hope to find?
Well, mostly I'm curious about why all your people around here have gills on their neck. It seems very strange to me.
I believe it is hereditary.
Hereditary. Like passed down from generation to generation. Does that make you one of the ancestors, or?
Oh no, I am not from here. I am from Shem nearby.
Gem, good place.
And Karo, make an insight roll.
Insight. Is he even good at insight?
Time to get good, son.
Kinda. Nope, he's really, really bad at insight.
Good to know. So yeah, as as she's talking, you can tell like the emphasis that she puts on certain words and the way she forms certain sounds. You find yourself almost entranced by her.
Well, it's been a long time since I've had a fine meal with a woman quite as beautiful as you are.
Well, thank you. It's been a long time since I've had anyone to have lunch with, so this is a true pleasure. But I assume that you're not here merely for lunch.
Well, I wasn't until just recently, but after making your acquaintance, surely we can have lunch, if nothing else.
She will reach over and basically help herself to some dinner rolls. Doesn't bother getting the servants to get it for her. And everybody can give me an observation check.
Whew, ideas. Way to go, boy.
So yeah, as she kind of reaches forward to grab the dinner roll, you can see like this necklace that she's wearing kind of like falls open out of the top of her dress, and it's a coral shell on a necklace, and it looks very, very similar to one. Remember way back on board your first ship, the guy that was the traitor, the guy that the sorcerer found.
Mm-hmm.
Exact same necklace.
Right.
Sketchy.
So what sort of facts are you and your men here to find? Perhaps I can be of assistance.
I assume I'm still kind of enthralled.
Yeah, it's like you can communicate normally. It's just the thought of causing injury to her is repellent.
So kind of charmed, right?
Yeah, like you've got your own mind. It's just hurting her is the last thing you would want to do.
Well, honestly, my dear, outside of having this dinner, because this has been the highlight of my last few months, I'm looking for an individual. An individual in charge around this particular island.
In charge of the island. Well, that's a bit of a question. The when our master left, he left me in charge, but his other student, Aram, claims that he was left in charge. And unfortunately, the two of us do not see eye to eye. So now, Aram, and she gestures kind of vaguely, is up in the temple, and he has forbid me access.
Forbid you, beautiful creature like yourself.
So, the master should have been back by now, but he is not.
I don't suppose your master has a name?
Yes, his name is Maledict. Maledict Mur.
Right. I think I've heard about him before.
Oh, he is a wise and powerful instructor.
Could you explain to me about this strike between you and his apprentice, or whatever his title is?
Aram is jealous of my abilities. And when the master left me in charge, he took control of the temple from under me. He made deals with the workers and cast me out. So now I'm here trying to make a home until I can find a way off this island to find my master.
Your abilities, you say. Can you clarify that a little bit?
Our master was instructing both of us in the ancient ways.
Right, and he was the prize pupil, was it?
No, I was, and he was jealous.
It seems that he's winning half this match, though, right?
I do not have the head for politics that he does.
Well, politics now. You're speaking my language.
Lassie, I'd suggest to you then, if you're the greater of them, why don't you just go and take back what's yours?
I've been tempted, but I think I would rather just leave this island and find my master. He's left me a way to contact him.
Well, I have a proposal for you, my dear lady. If you'll listen.
Of course.
How about me and my men take a stroll up the hill, have a conversation with this apprentice. And then when he's compliant in one fashion or another, we come down here, maybe you can share with me the way to talk to your master, maybe face to face or through whatever conch shell you guys do your business with.
I can certainly help you find Master Myrrh once you have me off this island.
Well, I could definitely get you off this island. I could do it without killing that particular apprentice, if you prefer.
Well, there are things that I require from my dwelling at the temple. He kicked me out with nothing.
Do you happen to know what those things are? Could you share with the rest of the group?
There's a chest of belongings. There are some books and some journals. Work I was doing, important work I was doing. Work
Now,
that I can't replicate.
You understand that I have an entire crew that's expected to be paid if we go on a venture like this.
Well, I'm sure whatever else you take from the temple is of no concern of mine.
Ah, that's the words we like to hear, Lassie.
I've tried to ask the workmen that are doing work here on the manor house, but they're not adventurous. Nor do they have a boat.
Well, good news for you, my beautiful enchantress. I have both a boat and adventurous people.
Well, then perhaps we can come to an agreement. If you can get my belongings and get me off this island, I will help you find my mentor.
What do you think, gentlemen? That seems fair to me.
Oh, I think it does sound fair. It's always good to have a little bit of help for some things, and can help get this lady squared away straight, and we can get the information that we need, and maybe a little bit of gold on the side. It sounds like great, really, honestly.
Well, perhaps the lady would be willing to lend us a few of her servants for the endeavor.
I could send. I can send Valor and Orgal to motions to the other two.
I was kind of thinking the lady would join us.
I can do so.
Well, given you're both students of things that I don't possibly understand, it would be only wise to ensure you protect us from whatever nonsense he has up his sleeve, yeah?
Of course.
You get me in mind there, I'll make sure he doesn't speak another ill word to you again. How about that?
That sounds delightful. There are ways to the temple that are unwatched. The main path from the beach is guarded.
As we have seen.
Oh, that was you.
Made a bit of a mess, I'm sorry.
Your counterpart will have a good deal fewer servants at his disposal.
It's quaint that you think that.
I'm assuming, Lassie, that he has an entire underground complex full of them, I would think, yes?
The temple makes some things easier. There are some, and she kind of motions to her servants, guards, but there are other things that he has at his disposal.
Aye, fair.
I would not suggest taking the guarded path. We could find a way over the mountains. Or if you are strong swimmers capable of holding your breath, we can swim up to the temple.
Right, so mountains it is then.
Mountains it is.
There are guides in the village that can guide us through the mountains. It will be difficult, but pose little real danger.
Well, as I said, my dear, if you find me a way to look him straight in the eye, I'll make sure he's not a problem of yours and get you off this island.
I'm glad we can come to this arrangement. Perhaps we should set off in the morning.
Perhaps we shall. Do you suppose you have a place for us to sleep?
The guest rooms are not quite ready, unfortunately. You could sleep, and she kind of gestures to the dining room here on the floor.
Well, Captain, if you don't mind me saying, I think I'd rather sleep in my own bunk.
Back to the ships then.
Aye, it is. Maybe I might do a little foraging along the way.
Well, maybe I'll just keep a squad of men with me while you go back to the boat.
It seems awfully strange, Chris, that the captain would suggest such a thing. Does he seem okay?
Make an insight check.
I'm going to use 2 momentum.
Yeah, the captain does seem to be. This is definitely off for the captain. The captain would not suggest staying in potentially enemy territory by himself overnight.
Hi, can I kick him in the shin then underneath the table?
Sure. And
Ah, mattress blouse. What are you doing?
Zahabi will say, "It's fine. You, it will be an arduous journey over the mountains. You should get a good night's rest. But I will see you in the morning."
All right, my lady.
Aye, lassie, sleep well then, and we'll see you later. Well, tomorrow morning, anyways.
Seven hells roar.
Let's just go make sure Grim hasn't taken the ship yet.
Oh, you got to wager that he does. All right, let's go.
Well, Captain, you know me. I like a little bet now and again.
Well, I could have used a feathered bed too, but apparently that's out of the not in the cards.
Ah, Captain, come on! I couldn't let you stay overnight. I mean, I've got silver riding on one bed. I'm just.
All right, go on, let's go. I'm not gonna forget this though, Roy. I'm gonna get you back.
All right, let's get out of here then. Let's go. And kind of, I help Caro get up, and we'll leave.
Okay. So yeah, once you get back out into the open sea air, your Kara's head kind of clears.
I retrieve my scimitar from Grim.
Okay.
And I'll get my cutlass and dagger.
All right.
And be sure to pick up the captain's too.
No problem.
So we're all aware that she's a sorcerer or witch or whatever as well.
Oh, that was pretty obvious, laddie.
All right, good.
In fact, she seemed to have entranced the captain.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Well, laddie, let me look at it like this. When was the last time that you've ever decided to leave the ship overnight unguarded when you can go right back to it to stay overnight?
When was the last time you had a lady like that was potentially going to invite you into her bedroom?
Well, lad, I don't know if you looked in the mirror as of late, but you're not the prettiest one on the planet, but you talk a good game. However, I got to tell you that, there's a little something going on there. You trust me, and I know about these sins.
Well, maybe you're right. I never thought about slitting her throat once.
I was thinking of it almost constantly.
Well, just for future reference, if you have the opportunity during this little adventure, put an end to that particular witch, do so, right?
That was my plan.
And next time, maybe, Roy, you don't have to kick me out of the table.
Well, it wasn't that hard, Captain. I'm ready. I'm not like it could have had colitis do it for you. I mean, that would have really hurt.
All right, let's get ready. We got work to do in the morning.
So as you guys make your way back to the ship, the idea of going to this temple yet again, maybe not the soundest idea to go to sleep on, but it seems like she may in fact be able to lead you to the sorcerer that you're after. But I think we'll call it there. That seems like a good place.
I mean, it's the main reason I haven't stabbed her yet.
Oh, I'm willing to believe that she's willing to, to push her counterpart off any cliff she needs to be her master's favorite.
I would have killed her right there, but I wasn't allowed.
Jealous students. But yes, we will call it. We'll call it there, and then we'll pick this up in 2 weeks' time as you guys make your way to the temple again.
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 Experience?